Hello and welcome to For the Love of Self podcast. This is your host, Heather Murphy, certified embodiment coach and trauma informed breathwork facilitator. Welcome to the podcast. Here we talk about mental health, manifestation, and motherhood. Please forgive me. I'm on the other side of a cold. So my throat and my nose, you can probably tell. I don't know, maybe not, but I'm just having a little bit of a hard time speaking and breathing. So today, I want to bring you 5 tips on getting through the winter blues during the holiday season. And I want to bring you these 5 tips because for me, I know that there comes a point around late fall where I'm like, I need to start doing some active things in order to stave off my depression that comes on. And yeah, it's interesting because I struggled with anxiety and depression since I was about 9 years old. If you don't already know this story, was in and out of therapy, struggled for years. And it wasn't until I really started practicing embodiment work that I was able to really expand my capacity, not only for those anxious feelings that I get around various things, as we all do, but also uh, I have not really had depressive symptoms in years. And I shouldn't say that exactly, but what starts to happen is I notice I feel tired. And for me, that's a sign that I'm starting to experience depression. Now, I'm not talking about like a tired day, but um, yeah, I just start to kind of have like multiple days where I'm just like, I'm sluggish. And like it's winter, right? We should be curling up in our caves and sleeping all winter. But life goes on, especially here in the States where it's just go, go, go all the time. So, and then just also like for those of us that celebrate Christmas, it's like so in our faces. And it also makes me think about those that don't celebrate Christmas and how they must feel about the just I'm having mom brain right now, but just yeah, the incessant marketing that happens around Christmas time, um, and how that must make non-Christmas celebrators feel. Anyway, with all of that, let's get started. So my first tip today is actually about socializing. One of the top things that we can do, like there's two like top, and this is gonna be my number two is gonna be obvious now, but the two important things that you can really do to help improve your depression this holiday season. Number one is to keep socializing. I know that this time of year, it's like I mentioned, I just want to get in my pajamas and stay inside. Well, can you invite a friend over to a pajama party? Have them bring their kids, have a popcorn party. Um, can you have a Sunday morning pajama party? Can you keep it chill, keep it lazy? Um, Again, also thinking about checking in with your flow, like is your cycle, is there a point maybe during this season where you do feel more social? Because it's like there are lots of social things that are going on, and that can be fun and exciting too. But for those of us that struggle with depression or winter blues, um, we might feel not feel as kind. We're just kind of like, that seems like so much effort and stuff. So um, but the other tips that I'm going to be giving along the way are the thing that are going to help you to get the energy to go out and socialize. But I wanted to share it as number one because, and I didn't pull any research up, but I remember learning this in my neuroscience class that social support is so crucial to our well-being. And I think that there's more and more research coming out. What was that? There was another thing on that island in Italy, and I'm sorry, I'm not pulling up exact data and research on this, but there's this island in Italy where they did studies on why people are living to over 100, and they really came to a theory, I guess, or a conclusion, but their theory is that it's due to community and social support. This is why people are living long, healthy lives. Even if they smoked, even if they ate high fat things, whatever, um, social support is so important. And I know that for those that struggle with depression, this can feel so hard. So keeping it in mind, knowing that maybe I need to be doing my other self-care practices in order to get myself to socialize, because cognitively I know that I need to socialize. And I know that once I go, especially if you're surrounding yourself with authentically aligned people, this is huge. Like if you're being your authentic self and you're hanging out with people that align with you, that's going to feel energizing. Like don't just force yourself to socialize just because you know it's good for you for your mental health. Go socialize with people that give you energy that you can thrive off of, that you can ride the waves of. um, yeah, I hope that encourages you to think about those things in a different way, that it's important and that it should be aligned. The next thing is obvious: keeping your regular exercise routine. Physical activity is just like, we know. But this doesn't mean that you need to go get a fancy gym membership or buy all this equipment. Literally go outside and go for a walk every day. 20 minutes of exercise can change your whole physiology of how you feel. You're going to get the endorphins, the oxytocin, all the things that you need in order for your for optimum mental health. We know this. We know we need to do it. Uh, get a friend, make it social, right? Okay, so number 3 is about maximizing your natural light. There you go. Why don't you just knock out all 3 at once? Go outside, get some natural light, go on a walk with a friend. There you go. Boom, boom, boom. Can you commit to that like 3 days a week this winter, even though it's cold? There's this incredible book called There's No Such Thing as Bad Weather. And it's written by this Swedish woman who talks about how they spend the majority of their days outside despite it being in the negative at times, and how the children spend the majority of their time outside at school, and a lot of the schools are outdoor schools, and that it's simple. It really just comes down to having better clothing. um, I know a lot of us, like I'm a sun goddess too. Like I'd rather be closer to the equator. But I think that just finding the right clothing to keep you warm, wool is great. Um, putting those shells over your, like a rain shell can really help with the rain and stuff. Just going outside no matter what, because even if it's cloudy out, you're still going to be getting exposed to natural light. Yeah, it's just so important for our absorbing vitamin D from the sun. Now, with that, my 4th tip would be to consider using light therapy. Um, I actually have one of those natural light lamps or whatever, and they really do work. I put mine in front of the what do you call it? The kitchen sink, and it just is a nice thing when I would be doing the dishes. I'd put on some music, and I really noticed that my mood would be more uplifted afterwards because of that exposure to the light. So, something worth investing in. I think they're super cheap. Mine was gifted to me, so I don't know, but I'm thinking about getting another one for my office space. That if you're watching the YouTube channel, you can see behind me, I have like a construction project going on, but I'm working on creating my like most ideal space, and one of them is going to be putting a plants and natural light in here and stuff. So all of those things can contribute to your well-being. Okay, where is my last tip? The last tip, of course, is also another really obvious one. And I keep saying like, oh, these seem obvious, but it's like we need these reminders. I need these reminders. Like, so this last tip is about maintaining a consistent sleep schedule. We know we need to maintain a good sleep schedule, and maybe in the winter you're getting more sleep, and that's okay too. Um, can you get to bed a little earlier? And that feels hard because I mean, in some places I feel like here the sun is going down around 4:30. Um, and it's dark by like 5:30. So it's a little rough sometimes, and I start to get sleepy then, especially like the power goes out here a lot where I live, because I live in the redwoods, and a lot of trees will fall in the winter, and oh my God, when the power goes out, holy cow, do I become like a real animal because I'll get so freaking sleepy immediately, like because there's just no stimulation. There's no like electronics or anything. So it's pretty incredible. And so, how can we honor this natural cycle that we're in? It's winter. Let yourself sleep more. It's going to give you the energy that you need to socialize, to get out for a walk, to get out into nature, and yeah, get your sunlight and all that stuff. So, think about how all of this time period can be such a great time to just like keep things simple and don't feel the need to submit to the craziness of the holidays. With that, I want to discuss like a few more thoughts. I'm thinking a lot about our embodiment practices, the things that I teach. This is, utilizing breath work. Can you take a 5 minute breath work break every day just to revitalize your energy and your life force to clear stuck emotions in your body? A lot of times people are feeling lonely this time of year. That is a huge contributor to mental health increase, negative mental health experiences for people during this time period is that they don't necessarily have the socialization aspect to their life. They don't have community. And this takes effort. Maybe if you just move somewhere new or just you're somebody that has always sort of self isolated and you're struggling to find people to be friends with or to build a community with, that is so hard. I hear you and I see you. And what I want to invite you to do is maybe find somewhere to volunteer. Like maybe they aren't your forever people, but you're going to meet amazing people that care about your community and that have hearts of gold, obviously. And it's such a great way to socialize and just meet with people in your community by doing something good. Um, I mean, I actually it makes me want to delve down it makes me want to explore the research on the effects of volunteering. I'm sure there's like all sorts of hormonal fluctuations and just oxytocin spikes and dopamine because we're connecting with people, it's making us feel good. So that can be such a great way to socialize if you're feeling lonely and isolated and you need to touch on this part of your life in order to stave off the winter blues. um what else? So yeah, backing back to the embodiment practices as well, like making sure that you're moving. We already touched on that. For me as an embodiment coach, movement, it doesn't necessarily look like exercise, but I try to move my body every day. And that can include somatic exercises and dance, and it can include exercise like walking, running, weightlifting, etc. But I want to invite you to really become deeply connected to your body so that you know what your body needs each day. Um, and that's why it's so important I want to invite you to take vitamin D supplements. If your doctor approves, of course, I'm not a doctor. So, if it's something that is okay for you to be taking, that can really increase your energy levels. And that's going to give you the energy that you need. And that's what we get from sunlight as well. But taking a supplement can really help because oftentimes we're not getting enough. I mean, even when I lived in Central Oregon, which has many, many days of sun throughout the year, I was still low on vitamin D. So something worth getting tested and seeing about how much more you need. It's really going to give you the boost that you need to get through this time period, to have the energy to do the things that you need to do to self-care right now. So that is really all I have for you right now. I'm sure that there are going to be more tips coming. So come follow me over on Instagram. I'm at for the love of dot self. That's at for the love of dot self. And let me know what are you doing to sort of deal with your winter blues during this time of year? How are you taking care of yourself? Are you going to try any of these tips? Do you already use some of these tips? Do you find that they're working? Let me know. how you're doing. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for just investing time to listen and to take care of yourself in this way by learning and listening to whether it's my podcast or someone or my YouTube channel. Um, just educating yourself and creating getting into containers where you can learn more about the ways in which you can fully take care of yourself as a human being. It's going to allow you to be the fullest expression of who you are. And I truly think that that is our life purpose, is to come here and to be our authentic expression, because that allows others to be their authentic expression. All right, guys, thanks so much for listening. If you found this useful or helpful in any way, be sure to send it over to a friend who could use the reminder or the new knowledge if they don't already know this stuff, that maybe they just need a little boost or encouragement. If you have the time, it would be so wonderful if you left a rate and review for the podcast, as it really does help it get into the ratings so that more people can come here and learn to love themselves deeply. Thank you so much for listening today, and take care of yourselves. Sending you love.
Hey, thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed the episode as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you. If you found this episode helpful in any way, I want to invite you to send it to someone who would benefit from it. Also, consider leaving a rate and review for the podcast, as it really does help the podcast get to the top of the recommendations list, so that even more people can get on the self-love train. Come follow me over on Instagram and TikTok at fortheloveof.self. That's at fortheloveof.self. Shoot me a message and let me know what your favorite takeaways were. I love meeting new people and watching them grow. And thank you again so much for tuning in today, as it really is an honor to be here with you. We'll catch you in the next one. Oh, and of course, don't forget to subscribe.